I'm Olivia Clement.
And I'm Walter Lyle.
And I'm Isaac Sims, and this is Flyover Film Country. Woo! Oh, oh, oh,
Isaac is for sure blowing out his mic right now.
We cover film and TV and focus on stories set in places oft forgotten by Hollywood. Today we're revisiting one of the highest grossing neon releases in the horror thriller phenomenon of 2024, Longlegs, Micah Monroe,
Woo,
Walter's girl.
Mm-hmm.
Walter's side girl.
I told you she's working her way up there. She's not all the way there yet.
So she's still a side chick.
Ella. She's not a, yeah, exactly. Not a Ella Purnell.
No one is.
Quite yet. We're also going to be touching on the best animated movie of the year, question mark. The Wild Robot that Olivia and I both saw and that Walter has not yet pirated.
Stop saying
I would never do such a thing.
I would never. I wouldn't download a car, that's for sure.
The Wild Robot was directed by Chris Sanders, who directed How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch, and has a wonderful animation style. So this is going to be a fun episode.
This is going to be a fun episode. I'm looking
Before we get
to
started,
see if I've seen any other animated movies, and I'm trying to figure out if The Wild Robot's the only one
for me
that has come out this year.
I think it is, because I didn't go. You didn't go see Inside Out too?
Oh, I did see Inside Out too.
The kids therapy movie.
I did for sure see it. Kids, that is for adults. That is an adult therapy movie. That is not for children.
Yep.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm looking at other animated movies that came out this year. If came out this year. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Dear God.
No.
Neither of those are animated.
But there's animation in them. I think that's what's counting them.
They're not animated movies,
I'm literally, all right, don't shoot the messenger here. I just Googled animated movies 2024.
Yeah, I know. We can tell.
The Garfield movie came out this year.
I heard the movie was pretty cute.
I forgot about that.
I heard it was pretty cute.
Yeah. Let's see. Inside Kung Fu Panda 4 came out this year.
Oh, I forgot about that. John said that was good. My younger brother.
I've only seen the very first one.
1 and 2 are good. Never seen the third one. Third one has his dad, I know.
We hate dads.
Not true.
You heard it here first.
Yes, that is true. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. As I say that to two dads.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
It's called a joke, Isaac.
I want to circle back to what you said about where you're talking about therapy and how Inside Out 2 and Inside Out 1 is therapy for kids / adults.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel like there's too much therapy in movies and TV and in popular culture in general? I know we talked about it. Olivia's talked about it with TikTok. Like, there's TikTok therapy and a lot of it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. But do you feel like it not like there's bad or good representation of it, but that there's just like too much, like, oh, so-and-so is having a panic attack. Oh, this so-and-so has trauma. Oh, so-and-so has like, do you feel like it's showing up too much in like the big tentpole movies and TV series? Does the question make sense?
No, it makes sense. My answer is no. How is it any different than anything else that we've experienced and has come out? I mean, there's trauma in literally every war movie, every mobster movie, no.
You don't feel like it's a trope that the main character must overcome their trauma.
But it's the struggle.
I'm not negating like the individual character's struggles. Okay. I feel like it's become a trope. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not negating people who have trauma. I'm not like downplaying.
No, I know.
As
I don't
as
think
a
that's
writing
what you're
and
doing.
storytelling technique, I personally feel like it's like, okay, they got to confront their trauma.
That's literally how all story writing is, though. They have to confront the thing. We're just calling it trauma now.
I know, and I feel I'm bothered by it because I feel like it's like it's I think it's good to like have conversations and get it out in the open, but like I feel like it's normalized now to a point where like it's almost less effective and like it's like more relatable to some people, but I don't know. It's too much. It's too big a topic, I guess, to tackle in our preamble. So,
okay,
that's just how I feel. Walter's leaving me out here to dry. He's not jumping in at all. He's looking for sound effects.
I'm trying to find a tweet. Y'all remember when Puss in Boots came out? Puss in Boots
is a great example of this because he like, it's like, oh, he has trauma. This is a side character from Shrek.
Hold on. Yes. There's a panic attack in the movie, and it's portrayed very well, but it became like a meme because like somebody tweeted like just how like, oh, it's just so refreshing, whatever, to see a realistic depiction of a panic attack in Puss in Boots. It's like all these like this is like last year is like all these people were making like really stupid tweets about panic attacks in movies. I remember I tried to find this one, I can't find it, but it was like me seated about to watch the Garfield movie, and I turned and looked very seriously at the child next to me and say, "I'm here to see a realistic depiction of a panic attack."
Or like the Lego movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. What?
It's so funny, y'all like having this like real discussion about trauma in movies, and I'm over here I'm googling Garfield movie panic attack. Garfield movie panic attack tweet about Garfield movie panic attack.
Show your Google search.
I still couldn't find it. I got so desperate I searched Mario movie panic attack tweet because I thought maybe somebody said it about the Mario movie.
Does Mario have a panic attack in the Super Mario Bros.
I think
movie?
he does. No, I think he does.
I think you're right.
Because
Sucks.
Okay, we get it. You are over everyone talking about trauma. Okay. Isaac's life is perfect.
Trust me, I've had a little trauma in the last couple weeks.
No, I'm kidding.
Isaac doesn't believe panic attacks are real. Just calm down.
Just pray about it.
I think really you just need to pray about it. Exactly. You literally said it before I could say it.
You're anxious.
I knew one of us was going to make it.
You need to take it to God, man.
You're anxious because you don't trust God enough.
Yeah.
You just don't have enough faith.
And Garfield said, "Oh, okay, that's true."
Okay.
Garfield's like, lasagna.
Is it okay? But really, serious question. Reel it in, guys. Reel it in.
I'm here.
Is it really about the depiction that's happening in the movies, or is it about how people are talking about it?
I don't know. I don't understand the distinction right now.
So
I think. Go ahead, Olivia.
Well, I was gonna say like it's one thing for something to be portrayed in a movie. I think the way we interpret it and the way we talk about it, whatever it is, not even necessarily just like panic attack or trauma, but like I think the ways in which we respond to things is important, and it's kind of can set a tone around a particular topic or theme within a movie. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
So I think the over saturation on social media of pop psychology nonsense is one of the reasons we have this response to movies like Puss in Boots or, Super Mario Brothers, where it's like, I'm just so glad that there's a realistic depiction of a panic attack or anxiety. And it's like, okay, great. Like, I'm glad that is also existing so that we can kind of model to kids like, hey, this is what this is, and give them a little bit more language to that we did not get as children. And how much of the people who are like talking about it are, one, actually doing their own work and their own therapy, two, just saying that because like that's the thing to talk about these days, and three, actually understand what a panic attack is. Because I think a lot of people will just throw those terms around like, oh, I've got trauma, or he's a narcissist, or, they're so bipolar. And it's like, we're just saying stuff to say stuff. And I actually went on a rant with a client earlier today about pop psychology, and she probably was a little concerned about me, but that's okay. Anyway, I just think that like the ways in which we talk about certain things on social media really takes the weight out of, like, takes the
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so I don't think it's necessarily like Inside Out or those other movies we've named that are too much and too in our face. Inside Out is literally about feelings. Like, of course it's going to be in your face. Like, that's the whole point of the movie. But like, I also think it's important for, these other characters, like a cat or, a popular character that
Plumber,
we've all grown up playing.
example.
Yeah, a plumber, for example.
Maybe he's Italian.
A hedgehog
has a
whose middle name is Maurice.
But so that these are like more tangible for kids to see with these characters they maybe have grown up with, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my soapbox.
And this is a great lead in to not The Wild Robot, which is technically next on our agenda, but Longlegs. Longlegs, interestingly, bucks this trend that, new wave horror like Hereditary and Midsommar, and even like the Halloween reboot with that trilogy by David Gordon Green that came out over the course of the last several years. That reboot is about trauma, and they're like, you can watch those. Someone did a supercut of all of Jamie Lee Curtis's appearances for marketing for the movie, and it was just like hundreds of trauma. This movie's about trauma. It's about generational trauma, and it's like and that's what every single horror movie is about, and like the Scream reboot is about that. So that's like my point, that's all I was trying to say. It was like, I feel like in horror it is like, we got to get away from that somehow. Like, I really appreciate what Longlegs did. We'll talk about that. And I kind of view it. I'm trying to think of like a parallel where it's like, there's very few other things where it's like, I really wish they wouldn't do this because I'm tired. Like, I expect this. It's become a trope that undercuts the whole story because you've seen it in other TV shows, in other book, like, I mean, goodness, all the books that are about trauma now.
Well, okay, but to your point, like, if we think about like the waves of horror film, like the horror genre, we have seen lots of different waves of popularity of things that are super popular, like demon possession, anything about that, or like slasher films at one point were the most popular thing. When we were in high school, it was like something to do with demon possession. What's another one that I just thought of? Body gore horror, right? Like that kind of thing was really popular for a while. And so, like with anything else, I think it's just a trend, and we will eventually move on to the next thing. And I would guess probably in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see a new wave of topics that are presented in really across the board. I mean, not just with horror, but like with other genres as well. I think millennials are right now the ones who are kind of in charge. Like, older millennials are kind of in charge of like making movies like that right now, and are working at like Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks and all those other animation studios making these films. And so I think that's why we see so much of like for the past 10-15 years, we've seen so much of the kids animation movies being about that. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Anyway,
is the Wild Robot like that?
Good segue.
You see that? See how I did that?
Insert clapping emoji.
Well, we can insert this right here.
Is this the one that's 5 minutes long?
No. That's this one.
I can't wait to show Sophie the Wild Robot. I think she'll love it.
So you think Sophie's gonna love it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I think it really is. The way I've been I just was telling my brother about it this past weekend when we were hanging out. Was in Florida for my sister's wedding. That was fun. And he has a son who's 2 months older than my daughter, and then he has another son who is 2 years older than them. So he's 4, almost 5. And I told him, I feel like the Wild Robot is like a breath of fresh air in terms of kids animation, because from what I have been able to tell, Pixar's had a certain like style, an animation style, that is actually pretty different in Wish, and that Wish was a Pixar movie.
I don't think it was.
It wasn't. I think it was.
Was Wish DreamWorks?
No, Wish
it's
was
a Disney movie,
but I think
I don't think it's Pixar.
Let's see.
I thought it was. Neither here nor there.
It was
Our
Walt Disney
producer
Animation
looked it up.
Studios.
So it was animation. I liked how it looked, though. I liked it a lot. I was like, okay, this is different. It looks more hand-drawn. It looks like grainy and like it has a unique texture. But The Wild Robot does something really cool where it, like the direction and the editing and the pacing, the music and the performances, like I was so entertained just like moment to moment in a way that I felt like a kid. And then that's something that Olivia and I talked about quite a bit when we were texting about it, is that it just like you feel pulled along like a kid, but I didn't feel cynical for like getting bought into it in that way. And sometimes I do with kids movies where I'm like, I kind of catch myself like, oh man, they really got me. And then I get kind of annoyed, but I didn't with this one because it's just a different sort of, I don't know, priority with the directing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. I think for me, what I really loved the storyline. Like the last probably 30 minutes I didn't love the last like third act probably.
Same.
But overall, I really, really loved it. I also love Walter, the whole, like, it's really just about like the theme of the movie is found family or even
and
adoption.
Generational trauma.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I'm so over this conversation.
That's literally the last time I'll mention it.
I will believe it when I see it.
Ever.
Sure, Jan. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about. So, Isaac, what's the next point?
It's about found family.
I don't know what I was going with it though. I knew that was my last.
You were
thing,
just telling me what it was about, like what the theme is.
Yeah, so it's about found family, and I think it's really sweet, and that always gets me. So, I cried throughout most of the movie.
I teared up quite a bit because there's lots of stuff like, so the robot is voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, having a great year. I don't know if she's going to be in anything else this year, but between that and A Quiet Place Day One, she's definitely having a good year. And so she lands on the opening. Oh, Olivia, golly. Okay, we can keep talking about the movie. The opening scene, I was like, is this the best movie? Is this my favorite movie of the year? Like the first like 30 minutes, I was like, this is my favorite movie of the year, because Walter's just like, the movie starts with her robot waking up and trying to help the animals on the island as if they are customers, because she's like a futuristic Amazon product robot that's like designed to help humans just like take their kids to the park, help them with their chores and all that stuff. And she can't assist them because the animals like have obviously like a natural connection to the world and to other animals and instinct and all this stuff. And she, at a certain point, she's like kind of getting battered around by storms and falling through trees and getting attacked by animals. And then finally she's like, okay, I'm going to go into like a calibration mode over the course of like 6 months or something. And you see like the sunset and the moon come up and you see time pass and like things build up around her. And I was like, this is so cool. I've never seen a kid's movie like this, or like any movie like this, where it's just like, it'll cut and jump forward a couple of days and she's learned something new and she's operating underneath it. So you're never being like, okay, let's keep this going, you know, like it's so good.
The pacing is pretty quick without it being like, wait, how did we get here? Like, I think it does a really good job of like showing you either with the background details or like with the, you know, with like what you're saying about the sun setting and the moon rising and all that. It does a really good job of like keeping you on pace with what's happening in the film. which was really cool.
Okay.
The animation style is really, really unique too. It feels like
it's kind of cell shaded.
Yeah.
Not as frenetic as like Spider-Verse or anything like that, but it's also pretty different than anything from DreamWorks that I've seen recently.
Yeah.
I've seen some previews, and it looks like something I would like, but you know me.
Yes, we do.
He'll see it maybe in 10 years.
Yeah, maybe around then.
He'll be like, I thought it was garbage, but I also watched the Garfield movie this weekend. Really good.
But now it's Monday, and I hate Mondays.
That's true. But I'm having a lasagna for dinner.
But I'm having lasagna for dinner, so it's all good.
We forgot to do a drink check. What are y'all drinking?
Oh. Well, we know what you're drinking, Isaac.
Yeah.
Our listeners don't.
Isaac, what you sipping on?
Oh, I'm just sipping on some Josh. It's all this wine that I can't pronounce.
Just sipping on some Josh. It's so funny. Every time we get into one of these virtual recording calls here, Isaac, like it shows Walter Lyle's in the call, Olivia's in the call, and then Isaac's never in the call. For the past 2 times, it's been, the last one was Venom in all caps. If you, and then one before that was Dajoka Baby. And
I always forgot about that.
It's me,
tonight,
the Dajoka Baby.
Tonight, Isaac's name in here is just Josh. So he's sipping on that Josh, or with a soft J, the Yosh.
Yosh. Might be a soft J. What about y'all?
I am drinking a gin and tonic.
Nice.
And you're gonna have another one after this recording, I bet.
I might. Who's to say? I probably
2 or
won't.
3. Who knows?
I'm just doing the Olipop, the non-alcoholic option again.
Hey, how's your digestive tract?
It's good. It hasn't been bad. We just like the Olipops.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Cool.
Well, there's a new flavor that came out recently. It's this crisp apple. I'm trying to hold this where you can see it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
And they haven't. Yeah, it's good. They haven't had it at our Walmart that's close to our house. It's only been the Kroger that's just a little bit farther, and we never go to that one. But now we found it at the Walmart close to our house.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So, Longlegs.
We're revisiting.
It.
Why are we revisiting?
He was crushing some like natty lights in his basement, right? Like I feel like there was.
Talking about Nick Cage.
Yeah, like I feel like there were beer bottles in his lair at one point. Am I wrong?
Maybe. Hold on, we are changing topics,
so
right?
Yes, this is my...
Yes.
I'm trying to segue. I'm trying to segue.
Just want to make sure everybody, our listeners, knew we were.
Everyone
changing
knew
topics.
the cue is there. Walter, to answer your question, the reason why we are revisiting Longlegs is because I finally saw it. I went and saw it this weekend by myself, I might add. So
that is brave.
Did they re-release it?
They did re-release it. They re-released it, I think, so that they could do the Q&A afterwards with Theo James and Osgood Perkins, who directed it, and Theo James will be in the next Osgood Perkins movie, which is called The Monkey, which is based on the short story by Stephen King. Anyway, so they had that afterwards, and so I watched that. There was 2 other people in the theater with me, and neither one of them, they were a couple, I think, they did not stay for the Q&A afterwards, which I was like, fake fans, which they probably didn't
Posers.
know. Posers. Do you guys even like the movies?
I love the movies.
I love the movies.
The movies.
So anyway, but yeah, I saw it this weekend, and I only got kind of scared once by myself this weekend.
When you got scared by yourself that one time, were you thinking of a particular scene or anything from the movie that made you scared?
I was thinking about the creepy dolls and their terrifying eyes. Mm-hmm. And at one point I thought, what if someone's in my house? So
someone's in your house, someone's in your walls. He's in your walls, he's in your walls, he's in your walls, he's in your walls.
How do y'all deal with the like when y'all get freaked out by stuff?
Like from a movie?
Yeah, just like anything, you know?
Yeah. Okay. The first horror movie I ever saw, I was in college. I was 18.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Make it go away. Oh my God.
Isaac pulled up just screen shared.
That's so rude.
Screenshot of the creepy doll from Longlegs.
Sorry. Sorry.
That was great.
I'm also sorry.
That was so good. When I first started watching horror movies, the first one I ever saw, it was Insidious 2. I saw it in theaters. And then if you've seen it, if you remember Insidious 2, it was the woman in black was like the main entity that was like scaring everybody. And
Olivia's taking a heavy pull on her.
Yeah.
Gin and tonic.
There's a scene where in Insidious 2 where the demon's like, she's silhouetted in a shower curtain and she's like whispering to the dad as like he's in the process of being possessed, and I couldn't like close my eyes in the shower afterward for like 2 weeks. And I was in like a dorm, all right? So I was in like a tiny little like
That was the
prison
first-
cell shower. There's no way a demon can fit in there with me, but I was still
Wait, you
Still
didn't
couldn't
watch
get it out of
a
my
scary
head.
movie until you were in college?
yeah, I was
Wow.
again like I had no interest.
That really is one of like, there's so much incredible scary imagery in Insidious 1 and 2. Like it is
The first two have some really
like
great
I'm looking at the
cinematography
woman in
that.
black and I'm like, golly, this is so
They
scary.
did such a good job.
I'm not gonna share it.
So, but
Thanks. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Thank you.
I
Sincerely.
apologize.
It's
11
fine.
years of watching horror movies, I'm not trying to sound like a real macho here or anything, but they don't really stick with me that much scare wise, like after I'm done watching them. Sometimes I will like go home and like watch a little bit of The Office or something just to like decompress, but otherwise I'm good.
Brag.
Yeah.
So you do have to cope. I don't have to cope. I just
Isaac just raw dogs it.
yep. Not even that. It's just like, yeah, just kind of, I don't know, go through it, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, let's just do it.
So, Olivia, your thoughts on Longlegs?
Hopefully
as a
this
whole?
makes everyone happy.
Isaac is
that's really
decompressing
nice.
us with another screen share of just the wild robot, just a picture
Yeah.
of the wild robot.
Played with the fox name.
Who is voiced by
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
I can't remember the name of the fox is.
His name's like Link or
It's
Sinks
Fink.
or
It's Fink.
Fink.
It's Fink.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Link. Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I really liked Longlegs. I felt like the end did not tie up enough loose ends for me, and I sometimes can
Interesting.
handle the ambiguous ending. I think I wanted them to do that, and maybe I was talking to my friend Aaron about this because I was saying that I feel like I remember you guys talking about how Osgood Perkins was like kind of in a way almost making fun of people who are obsessed with like true crime. Mm-hmm. And I wonder too if like my desire to know what happened and like why this all happened and like more about it is because of that desire to like see the true crime wrap up neatly.
Yeah.
I don't
Are
know.
you a true crime gal?
Not anymore. I used to be. I think in like I watched a lot of 2020 and Dateline and this show called Snapped with my mom growing up, and I'll still occasionally watch it with her if I'm over at my parents' house. But like honestly, really since becoming a therapist, it's too heavy for me to watch, and especially because I've had clients who have been in abusive relationships and have dealt with a lot of to stuff, and it's too hard for me to think about and to watch that kind of stuff. So not anymore. I used to watch those things, listen to true crime podcasts, and I can't anymore. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so what's like the last, this is not good podcasting, but I haven't seen Longlegs since Walter and I saw it in theaters. And Walter, did you get to watch it today?
I did not get a chance.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So I
like
don't
I
remember
said,
anything about it.
So
you've watched some Law and Order since then.
Yeah. It reset my brain.
I really, because it's told in 3 parts, which I did not realize. I don't remember if you guys mentioned that when we talked about it back in July.
What are the
or
chapters? It's like,
Ooh,
is it like
his
hell
letters?
and then
It's long
letters-
leg and then S.
No, it's his letters is part 1. Part 2 is the girls or the birthday girls or something to do with girls. And then I can't remember the third one.
Girl.
I really like the first 2. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Did that
I got
creep
it.
you
I
out?
got it. I got it.
No, I
got the
just was trying to
chapters.
talk and you both were talking over me.
Sorry.
I got the chapters
That's fine.
though.
What are the chapters?
I'm making up for it, Olivia.
Me, I'm the Joker, baby.
Shut up. Chapter 1 are his letters. Chapter
See?
2 is all of your things. Chapter 3 is birthday girls.
Dang, I was wrong. Okay.
That's okay. You're close.
That was close. So, anyway, I really liked the first 2 chapters. I did not care for chapter 3. I think chapter 3 is when he's arrested and the interrogation. I did appreciate the kind of twist of, I'm spoiling this for anyone who hasn't seen it, so
It's
Warning,
been out
just
for a
warning.
while.
warning. That's another one we need to add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Get on it.
So, the twist of her mom being an accomplice to him, I really liked that. I think what bothered me, what I just really did not care for, was the plot line, I guess, of the devil made me do it, and there's nothing more to it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at best it was just not flushed out all the way. At worst, it's just lazy writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. Maybe, I guess in theory, the devil could just make you do something for the sake of doing it, but I think that's my issue with like demon possessed or anything to do with like Satan, is it's only like one-sided. It's never like, and this is my own like Christian faith coming into play here, like the way I think about Satan or the devil is he is trying to destroy all the things that God has like made good. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's usually just really one-sided in movies, and I realize like most of these movies are created and developed and written by people who are not Christians or even religious at all, and so I realize that's part of that too, of why we're kind of getting just one side of that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I didn't like that aspect of the movie.
That's fair.
So some time has passed. Walter, what do you think about like the final act? Because I'm having some thoughts, some new thoughts.
I see where Olivia's coming from with the third act, and I agree that it's weaker than the rest of the movie. I don't think it falls apart, and I wouldn't say that I don't care for it. It does get close to the classic horror movie. I'm not gonna say cliche, and not even trope, but just like common blunder, where like, and this is even like yes, it's a horror movie, but like it's more of like a psychological thriller than it is like a straight up classic horror movie. And it's the same thing that even though The Conjuring is like one of my favorite movies of all time, the last little bit of The Conjuring is just like not good, because there's so much build up and there's so much like tension and like it's this fear of the there are so many things that are unknown, and that's what makes it scary. And so when you have like this final act of a horror movie that, I guess things have to be revealed, right, for you to get at least some answers, or you'll feel really unsatisfied at the end. But you see everything, and then it's like, even though it's presented in a scary way, like there's murder or there's demons, possession, whatever, it still is like inherently it just cannot be as scary, no matter how scary you make it look, because you know what it is now. And it like, one of my other all-time favorite movies is Super 8. Do y'all remember that movie from like 10, 15 years ago?
That's a good movie. I like it.
Isn't it James Gunn?
That
J.J.
sounds
Abrams.
correct. J.J. Abrams, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It kind of like turns that whole concept on its head. Like, it's not a horror movie. I don't even say it's like kind of a thriller, I guess, but it's like more of like a little bit of a mystery, a little bit of alien stuff. And you don't see the creature like, you see like some parts of the creature up until the very, very end, like almost like the last scene. You finally see the creature's like face and its whole thing, and then you learn that like the creature, it doesn't want to be violent and it doesn't want to be on Earth. It just wants to go home, and it like forms this like unspoken bond at the very end with the main characters, and then it leaves. And so like so I just think like that movie, the reason I bring it up is because it took that concept of like, if it's scary and scary and scary, and then it's like, we're still trying to be scary at the end even though we've revealed it. But Super 8 was like, we've revealed it, and now don't you understand that it's not supposed to be that scary? And it's just like kind of cathartic release with that. So I don't think Longlegs did that necessarily. I don't think it did the classic horror thing of like, now it's no longer scary because you see the evil for what it is or whatever. Because there's still, like Olivia said, you felt a little unsatisfied because you still had unanswered questions. And I think that's what still makes it scary to me, even at the end, because it's like, it's not going to explain everything. It's not going to show all of the aftermath of that final scene of her boss killing his family, and like what happens to the daughter because now she's an orphan, and how she's gonna like how she's gonna come through the trauma with that, because it's not even really about that necessarily. It's just like, to me, that's what like it got close to doing that thing where the last act in a horror movie is like, it's kind of like ruining it. But I think it stuck the landing, and that's my opinion. I understand how somebody would have a different view on that.
Yeah, no, I think you make good points. I think maybe that's also how I think that's how I feel about a lot of horror movies, is they just don't stick the landing, or it feels like kind of anticlimactic.
It's really hard.
It's really hard
to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I hadn't really thought about what you were saying until you were talking about it, of like this concept of it's scary the whole time and you live in that tension the entire time you're watching the movie, and then you either have the reveal and then it takes all the tension out, and then it feels like, oh, okay, that was it.
And now it's like, it's The Conjuring as the example, like then it turns into just like an action movie because they're trying to stop the demon from killing the family, and it's like, I guess so. I mean, that makes sense with the story, but like, it's not.
The thing that, that I couldn't shake when I was leaving the movie, and I know this will be one of our, final points since we're going to wrap up our episode pretty soon. But the thing that I couldn't shake when I got away from it is like, I love Longlegs, and Walter, we talked about this on our episode earlier this year. I loved Longlegs, or we both did, because it is so imagery heavy, and like it seems like every frame is like you are moving through the story, and the dialogue is good, but it's like, it's really not a righty movie. It's like a very beautifully composed, like it, in terms of, it looks good, but it's also like blocked perfectly, and like the thing that I was so excited about at the beginning of the movie, I was like, she's really clairvoyant. Like they're playing, like this is a cool setting. It's the 90s. It's funny because like you see the picture of Bill Clinton in the FBI office. It's really funny. But it's like, she knows, like she like is just tapped into this. And the thing that really bothered me was that it did end up being about trauma and suppressing memories and stuff. And it happened in a creative way. I'll give it that. But I was hoping that it would be like, she's got this ability, and that like her partner gets killed like immediately when they're canvassing at the beginning. But then it ends up being, it's not really about the trauma and all that, but it is like a crucial
it's a theme,
plot point. Or like like a mild theme. It's like but more than anything, like kind of like a plot point to keep things going, and for her to be like, oh my gosh, mom, you were involved in it. And again, it was creative more so than how the Halloween reboot. But I was really hoping that it would just be like, she's got this thing, she's locked in, and she's got a connection to the spiritual. Like I thought the movie was going to be, is this something she has that's completely isolated from a spiritual realm? Because clearly Longlegs was like playing into some sort of satanic power and some demonic forces that possess his dolls. Like clearly it's like yeah, this is something that Osgood Perkins like at least believes in a little bit. You know, you can't really come away from the movie and not think that. But then it ends up being like, well, it was more about her connection to him, and I was hoping that it would just be like she's got this power and she's isolated from him, and she's just like, but they're connected because of like something they don't understand in terms of like spirituality. That's what I was hoping the movie would be about, and it ended up being slightly less compelling than I was hoping it would be.
Sure.
So
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Overall, I really liked the movie. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I think I was telling someone about this yesterday of like, I actually kind of like it when people overhype how scary a movie is to me, because then my expectations are so high that when I see it, it's like, oh, this wasn't that bad. So
wasn't that scary?
That wasn't that scary.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen very often, because most of the time it's like, that was way scarier than you said it was going to be, and that was really rude of you to tell me that it wasn't that scary. But I think you guys know me, I think, well enough at this point where you know what I can and cannot handle. And you guys both said that you think that I would be able to watch this, and I do. I think that like it wasn't the scariest thing I've ever seen. It wasn't something that kept me up at night, which I'm very grateful for, because I have a hard enough time sleeping, so I don't need any more help with that.
Yeah.
But overall, I do like this movie. I would suggest to go see it to people. I would definitely tell people to go see it, especially like, we didn't get into this a whole lot. I think Isaac talked about it. It's shot really well. Every scene feels important. Every shot feels really important. Because I think, Walter, you said this when we recorded over it, back in July, of it's framed in such a way that you're expecting something.
Gosh, you're always looking.
Constantly.
You're always looking. And I think knowing that already helped me not feel as stressed watching it.
Sure,
So thank you for that. But yeah, it was good. It was for sure good. Yeah, I did enjoy it. So I'm glad I got to go see it.
Good.
I'm glad we got to talk about it today. So all in all, had a good time.
Yeah. We're proud of Olivia.
Thank
we
you.
are proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
I can't wait to watch it again. And I think that I think Nick Cage will be less scary. And I think that's by design.
On a rewatch.
Because at the beginning of the movie, you are like, you feel like
unsettled.
a kid. You feel like a kid because you can't really like, you only see from her perspective, and you only see that she remembers only like his mouth and him being like just cold and but also white from all the makeup and plastic surgery and stuff. But yeah, it's good. It's like I'll never forget how I felt, or like I'll never forget that shot at the beginning of the movie.
Pure art.
The house in the snow.
Well,
Yep.
does that about do it?
I think that about does it.
I don't think that might about do it.
That might about do it. Well, all right, now I'm gonna head out.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Give us 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify. That helps us out a lot. Our music is by Cord and Jocks.
I think I started it too early.
No, it was perfect. It was right on time. Our art is by Macy Lewis. They're both Little Rock artists. Go check them out. Our next episode will be, of course,
It's already fading out.
Venom,
course.
The Last Dance.
Venom.
Wanna play it again?
Yeah.
I got more time.
That is a red one. We're dead.
Venom horse.
Will be
Nay.
yeah, that's gonna be part 1 of 5. So I hope y'all are ready for some Venom content.